And now that we know that, let's just enjoy it for the clown show that it's becoming. Poor Bronwyn. Poor Bronwyn. Poor Theo. Poor Arendir. Oh, Bronwyn, we hardly knew you. Here in season 1 of The Rings of Power, the strong female healer turned general for her Southland town that got destroyed by a big volcano created from an open dam through a... Boy, this just gets ridiculous every time I say it. So Bronwyn is not in the Rings of Power anymore. Arendir's love interest, who we can see right there, yes, the forbidden love, because the only thing that defines forbidden love for anybody apparently doing anything in Middle-earth now is an elf and a human, even though that was a thing that Tolkien said only happened a couple of times. But no, we'll just add more, or the elf and the dwarf and the hobbit. We won't go into that. But Bronwyn is not in season 2. The actress, Nazianen Bonadini, I believe is her name. She will not be in this show. In fact, we have a new actress playing a new character who we don't know anything about right now, other than what IGN's revealed in a few images right here. And someone has a pretty funny take on this that I think we'll get into. So this new character is named Estrid. It's going to be played by an actress named Nia Towell. Not familiar with her. It's fine. Looks okay. Goes with the visual territory that they're staking out. So now we get the three of them. Arendir, the Fade Elf, right here with that awesome haircut. Isildur, of course, the son of Elendil, who shouldn't be here in Numenor at all. And then we get Estrid right there too. So who is she? Well, she meets up with them as Bronwyn. Well, Bronwyn should have been leading them to the Pelargir. That's what she said she was going to be doing at the end of season 1. Apparently she's not even in it. So maybe these three, she falls into a hole and is left by the Harfoots. And maybe these three take over. However, apparently they're on their way to Pelargir. And here's what they write. Isildur immediately trusts the young woman, and Arendir, on the other hand, believes she's hiding something, is much slower to believe that Estrid can be trusted. Do I care about this? No, not really one bit at all. I mean, knowing about it will be interesting when I get to watch it and have it. But okay, so here we have maybe she'll be Isildur's wife. That could be a thing. She could come in and bear him some children. But Isildur was married when he left Numenor. I know it's what Tolkien wrote, and they don't care. So let's not worry about it. In any case, so and there he is saving him from, okay, what I'm thinking here, dating myself a little bit, never-ending story, Atreyu trying to get his horse, I don't remember his horse's name, out of the muck that the horse eventually drowns in. But we won't have this fortune here of somebody drowning. But so who is Estrid? Right? That's a big question. Well, I came across this article that made me laugh because it's tongue-in-cheek, but man, apparently this guy, he's got it out for the Rings of Power. So let's go over what he says and his logic and who he claims he should be, right? He talks about the IGN article. This is a guy named Eric Kane, a senior contributor here to Forbes. Talks about Estrid and, potential love interest. I just love it. It'll be nice for the poor young man who spent all of season 1 being yelled at by his friends and family, and then his horse ran away. It's like, oh man, all this stuff. Okay, but here's what he thinks, and let's go through these points because they're very important. The logic is unassailable. More importantly, I think Estrid is Sauron. I have a Mount Doom of evidence to back this theory. Namely, in season 1, Galadriel, Morfydd Clark jumped off a ship, headed to the Undying Lands, and started the 1,000-mile swim. Every time I laugh. Back to Middle-earth when she came across a raft upon which a man, Halbro, Charlie Vickers, happened to be rafting. He had some others with him, but they were gobbled up by sea smog. Halbrand was a very attractive man, you see, who Galadriel randomly ran into in the middle of the ocean. He also turned out to be Sauron. This is, I think we can all agree, a pretty crazy coincidence. Galadriel had been looking everywhere for him, from the frozen troll-filled north to the Harfoot infested, what an appropriate word, west, and almost to the orc infested Southland. Still, she met him randomly on a raft in the middle of the ocean. So Using this trail of logic, it seems egregiously obvious to me that this beautiful woman that Isildur runs into randomly somewhere into the Southlands has to be Sauron. Clearly, randomness is the logic of the day here. So if something happens randomly, we know it's Sauron. Now, this is just tongue in cheek, but man, don't put it past them. Could it be Sauron? Sure, it could be. He's just a shapeshifter. He's the Odo. For you guys who remember Deep Space Nine, he's the Odo of Middle Earth. He can be whatever he wants, whenever he wants, even though essentially J.R. Tolkien said that shape-shifting was something that was very difficult for him the more he changed shape and the more he succumbed to his evil, right? He couldn't take fair form anymore after Anatar, for instance. It was impossible for him to do that because he was incapable of using that power anymore. It's not explained, like there's no midichlorians involved in this. We're not going to explain the physics of how this all works. However, that is what he said. Okay, so is Estrid, this wonderful new young love interest of Isildur, is Estrid Sauron? Man, wouldn't that be fun? I mean, look, everything's being thrown at this. Why not throw out something completely off the wall? Is it off the wall though? I mean, I don't think so. If he's going to do that, right, might as well get with a guy who's going to be chopping your finger off in the future, and then you'll know him better. Nothing much makes sense here. Where has Bronwyn gone? Where, I think any of you explain or just ignore it and keep going from there, right? She and Arondir were a thing. Maybe they'll need to have her come back for her death scene that they love to not do in this show because nothing really matters. In any case, guys, rest in peace, Bronwyn. We hardly loved you. We didn't need to know you, and you were kind of useless in the show. Estrid, if you're Sauron, at least I will enjoy that whole timeline, that storyline, because it's the ridiculousness is all I've got left, right? Laugh or cry. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to keep laughing at this because this is nothing at all that resembles Tolkien. And now that we know that, let's just enjoy it for the clown show that it's becoming. All right, everyone. I hope you like that little jaunt into the funny side of the Rings of Power. I mean, really, all sides are funny. It's the way you look at it. It's funny and sad, but mostly funny, right? We have to take that approach. It's going to be funny. If you thought this was funny, yeah, like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Check out our podcast, Exploring Tolkien, at exploringtolkien.com. Or just look it up, Exploring Tolkien, on any podcast app, and you'll find us. We dive deep into Tolkien. We're going to be getting into War of the Rohirrim and The Hobbit, a full read-through of The Hobbit, because nothing is better than reading the original Tolkien. Some claim Peter Jackson's movies are better. Andrew Clavin, I disagree with you. Reading it is the deepest way to really come to love Tolkien. Even if you've seen the movies and haven't read the books, take the time to read the books. Everybody I know who's seen the movies and read the books still thinks that the books, they're so much deeper and more intense. There's more depth to it that you could ever imagine, that you even see in the film. So read the books, read The Hobbit with us, and we'll see you soon. Take care.